Hello everybody, my name is JoJo and this is
Dr. Love 342.
And this is
That's
Devin.
Photo 1, 2, 3.
But in real life it's Nigel and Devin.
Yeah.
Our podcast didn't involve our respective channels, it was just us, but whatever. Anyway, so
I temporarily froze and I'm like, I went back to Lazy Dreamer.
oh yeah, dude, I fucking do that all the time. Anyway, it's 2015 and it's been 2 years since we started this podcast, and this is our second episode, so what does that say about our production scheme? Let us explain some things. First of all, when we tackled this project back in 2000 and Bumblefuck, we didn't know that we didn't have the proper equipment to do this right.
Yeah.
So what happened eventually was we first recorded this on Nigel's iPad.
Yeah, in my room, mind you.
In his room, and I had the rendering software, he did not.
No.
So I emailed him. We recorded 3 episodes initially. 2 of them were us playing Magic the Gathering together.
Yes.
And those never happened.
Video games.
Yeah. And he couldn't email me the sound files. They were too large.
Yeah.
So I couldn't render the remaining videos, and he did the first one all on his own. Very proud of you. And we've been coming up with new ideas to try and make something new, and we've actually have the programs to do this now, because I have Windows 10 and that comes with an audio thing, and I have a $35 mic that I can record, and that was
I don't know if the mic picked it up or not.
I probably did. So yeah, we're back, and we kind of updated the channel a little more.
Yeah.
A little more pasteurized, a little more special. And I even, upgraded to the point where it looks like an actual channel, and not like one of those YouTube channels that just started out and still has all the poop on it.
All the poop on it.
Fresh out, it's still got the placenta, But now ours is grown, it's matured, it's 2 years old. With one video.
Yeah, but hold on, let me tell you. At age 2, you're basically on your own.
Yeah, that's when the government fucks you. Anyway, so this is a Comic Nerdtasia podcast, and if you haven't watched the first one, this is your introduction, then I'm so sorry. And welcome to the Comic Nerdtasia podcast, where we initially talked about cinema, movies, manga, anime, video games, comic book movies, bullshit, all things geeky and comic book related. So
we're still doing that.
We're gonna fire right into it, right? Fucking. So, fucking, can you believe that our first video, we talked about the first Avengers movie, which hadn't even come out yet.
Yeah, and now
it's the fucking 2 of them are out.
Yeah.
And a new Captain America movie came out. Guardians of the Galaxy came out. We missed a lot of shit.
Yeah,
So we're gonna fucking forget all that stuff happened, and we're gonna talk about the new stuff that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, like the Deadpool movie.
Like the Deadpool movie, Civil War, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, Magic the Gathering bullshit that I don't know about, that Nigel knows about, and whatever you know about.
And, anime stuff. And mostly
Anime.
convention.
Yeah,
cosplayer stuff.
Convention.
I haven't had any conventions. I mean, the last convention I went to was with you guys, and that was KatsuCon with my ex-girlfriend.
And you'll be going to Otakon.
My ex-girlfriend. That was how long ago that was.
That was. Oh God.
I've dated 2 girls since that fucking thing.
Yeah.
Was that 2 years ago?
Almost
really?
2. Well, not. I'm sorry. 1.
That was a while
A
ago.
year ago. Anyway, so Marvel Civil War. Let's talk about that. Let's break the gap. Let's break the hymen with Marvel Civil War. Anyway, so we're talking about Marvel Civil War, which is these superhero Avengers-like movies are becoming popular, and with Justice League is being announced now, with not fully announced, but Batman versus Superman's coming out, and that is going to feature Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and I think
isn't there a Wonder Woman movie coming out?
There's a Wonder Woman. Well, there was originally going to be a television show, and then they were like, "Fuck that."
No,
they were gonna do like a Gotham thing. They were gonna make Amazon, which was gonna be Wonder Woman's life before she came to Earth or whatever the fuck, and decided to become a superhero. She was like her life as an Amazonian, whatever she is.
Yeah, that wouldn't get too far.
Yeah, no.
I mean, Gotham is very fucking popular. But anyway, back to American Civil War. So I don't see how it led up to Civil War. I don't know if that's the next movie they're going to release, because at the end of Avengers 2, they were all hunky-dory together.
Yeah.
But the plot of Civil War is, I don't know if you've read the Civil War comic books. There is an explosion, kills people in a city. I think in the comic books it was some city in Chicago. But Bucky, who was Captain America's buddy,
who's also aka
Winter Soldier, is blamed for the explosion that happened. And Captain America's like, no, he didn't do it. Like, there's no way. And Iron Man is like, well, blah, he should be questioned, blah, and takes the side of the government. Now, in the comic books, Captain America takes the side of the government, and Iron Man takes the side of the
Winter Soldier.
What are they called? No, the Winter Soldier. I don't even think he was really that important in the Civil War. What's the word? Insurrection or whatever it's called, like the group insurgency. That's what he is. He takes the side of the insurgency, right? So in the comic books, the explosion is caused by the New World Order, New Warriors, or whatever, and
insert stereotypical group name here.
And they haven't even been mentioned in any Marvel movie yet. So I'm assuming they're just gonna be like, nobody knows who these fucking are, and like in the cinema world at least, so we can't put them in the movie. So Winter Soldier did it. And they flipped it, in the comic books, it was Captain America, and he was like, well, since this explosion happened and millions of people died, we need to regulate who can be a superhero. Like, you need to you work for the government if you're a superhero, or you are not allowed to be a superhero. And, Captain America takes the side of the government, and Iron Man's like, "Why? This is the land of freedom. Why the fuck should I work for the government? I'm free, and I want to be a superhero." So he gets a group of superheroes that fight Captain America's superheroes, and they fucking butt heads, and all that shit happens. So what's going to happen in American Civil War? The thing that sucks about making a movie out of the American Civil War is they don't own the rights to many characters. None of the X-Men can show up because they are owned by Fox.
Yeah.
And Marvel doesn't own their rights. Daredevil was owned by Fox, but I think they just got him back. Deadpool was confirmed for Civil War, but Spider-Man I don't think is. And I don't know. Like, Deadpool's also technically a mutant, so he technically should belong to Fox because he falls into the X-Men category.
Okay, hold on. It's Deadpool, therefore the rules do not fucking apply.
He just fucking breaks the boundaries between real world.
He breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah, a lot. He is the fourth wall. Let's be honest.
But this is the real world. Like, breaking the fourth wall in a comic book and breaking the fourth wall in real world life is different. To know that you're in a comic book, video game, whatever is something. But for Deadpool to be like, for Marvel to walk into Fox Studio and they're just like, well, you can't have Deadpool. He owns us for Fox. And then Deadpool is just like,
fuck you.
I'm gonna be in the movie anyway. And it's like, how did that happen? He's not real. He doesn't exist.
Wait,
Deadpool has shed his skin and become a living meme. And that is now taking the fucking toll on the real world. And that's pretty much what Civil War will be. It's a clusterfuck. And the trailer came out.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty interesting, but who knows what's going to happen there. So I don't know that much about what's going on with Civil War. I don't know how many people are going to be disappointed with it because you're not like a comic book me. Or
well, okay, hold on. And I feel I remember going off of that actually talking about video game movies made from video games.
Yeah, they're all terrible.
Yeah, they're all terrible because they're made overseas for.
Yeah, I told you that. Yeah, because most of them were German exported, and and in Germany there was a law that if you make a shitty movie, you pretty much get reimbursed.
Yeah.
So he pretty much made more money making shitty movies than making good movies. Mm-hmm. There's a whole game theory video about it. Matt Pat. Yeah, he's gonna be. He was in the 2015 Rewind.
Yeah.
But
so was Markiplier.
So yeah, but Markiplier had a bigger part than he did. Markiplier had more screen time. Matt Pat was in the corner eating pizza while he was walking through. That scene was pretty much just all YouTube gamers.
Yeah.
Ironically, on the end of it, it says Game Grumps, right? But it was only Ross O'Donnell or O'Donovan, and he's barely he wasn't a Game Grump until very recently, and it was just him, and he has his own channel. So why didn't it say Rubber Ninja instead of Game Grumps? I don't get it. But yeah. So that's the Civil War news. Deadpool, obviously, so many people are excited for Deadpool because he's become such a phenomenon.
Yeah.
But when he first was created, people didn't like him that much. He wasn't really that people didn't really think he was that cool. But then the internet happened and it kind of blew him up and probably made him such a superstar. a lot of people didn't really, because I remember buying comic books of Deadpool when he first was kind of announced, and I liked them because I thought they were humorous. But I remember like a lot of people on the internet just like shit on him, and they thought he was annoying and stupid, and then they kind of like, he just exploded like out of nowhere. He just like came like full circle, and now he's getting his own movie. He had his own video game, and now he's having his own movie, which Ryan Reynolds is playing Deadpool again.
Yeah, again.
And hopefully he'll make it better. And whether or not this is going to be a sequel to Origins, because in the end of Origins, Deadpool dies. He gets his head cut. Dies. He gets his head cut
Quote
off.
unquote.
But he like cuts his mouth.
He
so he can
grabs
talk
his
again.
hand.
Yeah. And like, I don't know if this is going to be like, oh, this is going into this. I hope to God that if that's not the case, they at least reference Origins. Like Deadpool makes a joke out of the old Deadpool character. That would be funny, because it's Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds played both of them, so he could easily just fuck with the original character. But not like all these people are talking about Deadpool movie is so amazing. So many people, I think a lot of people, miss the fact that Colossus is straight up in the trailer from X-Men.
Yeah.
The metal, you can turn into metal. He's in the trailer, and he punches Deadpool, and like he's only on screen time for like a second, but he just like knocks Deadpool over, and like it's on. I think it's the same scene as when he's on the bridge. And he's like fighting all those guys, and then Colossus shows up and just knocks him out. But I don't know whether or not that's going to be a thing or not. I mean, he's already being planned for many movies. He's being planned for Civil War, and Hugh Jackman's last Wolverine movie is going to have Deadpool in it, and it's going to be Ryan Reynolds Deadpool, not hopefully not the old one. That was so poorly received.
Yeah,
everyone was like, "Deadpool's going to be in the movie, awesome!" And then they watched the movie and they were like, "What the fuck happened? What happened to the character?" They took the one redeeming factor off of him. They took his mouth away.
Yeah,
they took away his ability to speak and make commentary.
And like I don't know, I don't know if it's like canon in the comic books, but like the sword that like came out of his
his arms. He's like Baraka from fucking Mortal Kombat. No, that's not in the comic books.
No, because I like I know that in the comics he had two swords.
In the comic books,
I don't know if they would like.
Yeah, he had two swords, but in the comic books his origin is very depressing.
Yeah,
it's very sad. He has cancer, and he goes
giant tumors, cancer on his skin.
Well, the reason he has all those tumors is because they gave him the healing factor, and he still has cancer. Just his body can heal it faster than it can kill him.
Yeah.
So like he was normal when he first like got the treatment, and then he got the treatment, and then he just turned into a gelatinous fucking thing. But like it was really fucking sad because like his origins are like he leaves his girlfriend because he doesn't want her to be with someone who's dying, and like it's just depressing. And then he goes to Weapon X, which is the same people who turned Logan or James into Logan into Wolverine. His real name is James. Not many people know that. Wolverine's name is James like Halford or something. But they turn him into Deadpool, and he is in. They keep him there. They like trapped him and like kept him and like fucked with him more and more. But the prisoners of the Weapon X program had a game they would play that if you survived longer, you would win, and that was called the Deadpool. And Deadpool was obviously the best at surviving, so they called him Deadpool, and that's where he got his name from. And then of course he broke out and killed everyone, and then descended further and further into madness, and then fucking lost his mind. And now he's that.
Yeah. Now he's there.
But his entire character was just a fucking slap in the face to DC. Yeah. Because the entire character was making fun of Slade Wilson.
Yeah.
And he's Wade Wilson. Slade Wilson is Deathstroke, and Wade Wilson is Deadpool. So the whole time they were just like,
hey, we're gonna kick around with this.
Marvel's just like, go fuck yourself. Like straight up, just like put the middle finger in DC's face, and DC's like, we can't do anything about this.
Yeah,
because they avoided it just the right way that they couldn't get sued for it.
Yeah, it's like he's basically just a carbon copy of Deadpool, of Deathstroke. No, actually he's slightly different.
Yeah, he's 1% different, therefore you can't sue us.
Therefore he's technically an original idea, so fuck off.
Yeah, right. But I think that's gonna be funny. Deadpool, excited? Are you excited?
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of people
I've seen like so many memes of.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
He's all over the place, so I can't see how many people won't be excited. I mean, my girlfriend's excited for Deadpool, and she's not even like really a comic book fan, So like, it's such a wide medium now that like, he kind of attracts people who don't really, even like comic books or understand
and
the
like
cinema.
he kind of like brings them into the comics.
Yeah, people just like him. He's an interesting character. He's very different, very original.
Mm-hmm.
Despite being a carbon copy of someone.
Yeah. Again. He's
a parody. He's a parody, and I think that's why they couldn't sue him, because if you parody something and you make it like blatantly obvious that you're parodying something, you can't sue.
Yeah.
Like.
You know what I find that's really funny? A lot of people decide to pair Deadpool up with people, and one of those people are Harley Quinn because they're both insane.
Like in a fighting or like romantically.
Yeah, both.
Yeah,
Yeah, both.
I see that a lot.
There's actually a video on YouTube where Joker and Harley Quinn are versing
Deadpool and Domino.
And Deadpool. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Well, Deadpool doesn't really get much action.
No.
He did fuck Death though.
Yeah, which is all sorts of weird.
He fucked Death.
Yeah, which is all sorts of weird because Thanos has a thing.
Obsessed with him or something?
Yeah. She has a thing for him, but can't kill him because then he'll go away. But then also it's like a weird, really weird love triangle. Yeah, it's a weird clusterfuck love triangle because Thanos also has a thing for her.
Thanos is a fucking.
I think like those.
He has a really interesting backstory too. They just recently released a line of comic books based on Thanos' origins. Kind of like. You don't think of him having like an origin story, and it's just like, yeah, he grew up. He was a person. He pooped his diapers just like everyone else.
he shit himself a lot.
And he's fucking been spoiled for like a long time. Like he's been in the past 2 Avengers movies. Spoilers, but like.
Spoilers.
End credits.
If you don't like spoilers, then don't.
He's been in the end credits of both of them, and the Gauntlet has been was in Guardians of Galaxy, which they're also making a sequel to that.
I have to see the first one.
About that.
Yeah, they're making a sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy, and the first one is like people would not stop talking about Guardians of the Galaxy when it came out. And it was like when it came out, people were like, Guardians of the Galaxy, like what the fuck is that? It was like the most obscure comic book title.
Yeah, no, like,
and then they just like threw it out there, and everyone loved it, and they're becoming increasingly popular, and like they were nobodies.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
They were really not they're really not that big of a deal. And then when the movie came out, literally I couldn't talk to like friends without them being like,
"Oh yeah,
did you see it? Did you see Guardians of the Galaxy? Like best movie ever, best movie, 10 stars, 5 stars, blah." And it was just like okay, and I didn't see it, and I didn't see it for like a while. They're like, "Oh, I won't spoil anything, but best movie ever," and it's like, okay, it's like they literally shot. It's like they literally went into the movie theater and just like hypnotized everyone in the audience and just like, Guardians of the Galaxy is the best movie ever, and they were just like, all right, and they just left, and that was the whole movie.
It was all of like 5 seconds.
Yeah. But it looks pretty good. They just released a Blu-ray. I'm probably gonna get my hands on that.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Doctor Strange is happening.
Yeah, and
Benedict Cumberbatch is gonna be Doctor Strange.
I love how no one can pronounce his name right. It's like Benedict Cumberbatch or some
Is it Cumberbatch? That's how I've been saying it forever.
It's
I don't even bother with that name.
It's very British.
Yeah,
I said that British guy.
It's very English. There's a billion British people.
I like him.
I know.
I think he's a good actor.
I like him. Sherlock is a great show. I watched Sherlock, and that's where I kind of got my introduction to him.
I haven't watched it. Did you know actually that he is Smaug from
that's his voice?
Yeah, The Hobbit. Yeah, that's his voice. I think they did like the same technology with Smeagol.
Remind me who Smaug is. That's what the dragon?
That's the fire drake.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the.
Well, he's a drake, isn't he? Because they always talk about him as a drake, and then they also call him a dragon.
Yeah,
which are 2 completely different things.
Yeah, well,
like a dragon,
drakes, like
drakes are dragons. They're the same breed.
They're like
it's like Japanese people and Chinese people. Same thing, but they're like different.
It's essentially the same thing. It's just like slight variation. I think he only has 2 legs.
Really?
I think does he? Does he only have like 2 legs or 4?
I think he has a bunch of hands. I thought he had hands. I don't know. What the fuck he is? I don't know.
I don't remember because if he has 2 legs, he's a wyvern. If he has, 4 legs, he's a Bolivarian dragon.
No, I used to read books about dragons all the time.
But like for example, Charizard is actually based off the Bolivarian dragon, which is like the 4 legs, like the weight of they have 4 legs and wings.
Alright, well, here's a question for you, Mr. Dragon Know-It-All. What kind of dragons all do we need from Skyrim?
He's a wyvern. They're all wyvern.
They're all wyverns?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
Yeah,
only have 2
they
legs.
only have 2 legs and.
I was trying to see if you actually knew.
But they walk like bats. They walk on their
they're
like
weird,
They're
like
creepy when they
walk.
when like what's his name, Parthenax talks to you, and he's just like
it's
boom,
like-
boom, boom, and he just like walks up to you, and it's like
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, like.
and then he like talks to you, and you're like, oh.
Oh, okay.
You're a nice guy.
It's like when you play Fallout 2, for those who those people who play Fallout 2,
Yeah.
and the Deathclaw talks to you. There's like a whole
Yeah.
vault of talking Deathclaws, and
Yeah,
you
usually like
they kill you immediately. But like there's a whole vault of Deathclaws that were experimented on by the Enclave to like be smart and like follow orders. So like they originally made all these Deathclaws that were like they're gonna follow orders and they're gonna follow us into battle, and then the Deathclaws were like,
no, fuck
why?
you.
And they were like, oh. They know they realize that this is bad.
Like,
Drop them off in a vault and never talk to them again.
No,
And they drop
like-
them off in a vault and like they're all just like smart. They read books. Like they're
like,
just like.
what was that? Actually reminds me of like I was talking to a friend of mine.
And one of them is a companion too.
You
You literally have a Deathclaw follow you around and help you.
Like literally like I remember I was talking to a friend of mine, Dave, like last year I think, last
Mhm.
4th of July, where like and we happened to talk about the ape, the Russian ape experiment or whatever it is.
Oh, the
Where, like,
Stalin thing
yeah,
where he tried
yeah,
to have a girl have sex with a monkey.
Yeah, and then have like the monkey with the intelligence of man.
Yeah, Stalin.
Yeah, that
this
was a
is
legit thing.
history science and comic Nerdtasia. Stalin, around the time of World War II, wanted to create like super soldiers. Everyone was trying to make super
Yeah.
soldiers, pretty much. Except for America. America was just like, we're good enough.
Yeah, fuck it.
We're gonna
Just
imprison
fuck
all
it.
the Japanese. That's pretty much what we're gonna do. Nah, never not. But
Yeah, now we're stuck.
so he would.
Stay the fuck away from politics.
Oh, we're gonna get
Yeah,
fucked.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
get
we're not
fucked.
getting into that topic right
But
now.
just watch the newsroom. That one scene.
Yeah.
That one scene. I
that's
love
it.
that scene. But so he thought in his little mustache mind that if he had a monkey have sex with a girl, they would produce an offspring was a gorilla human hybrid.
Yeah, like,
And these gorilla humans would pretty much eat whatever anything. They wouldn't need like what are they called?
what we like.
There's like an army term for food, and I can't think
Iron
of
rations
munitions.
or-
Yeah,
yeah,
rations.
rations.
Yeah, so they wouldn't need rations. They would just eat garbage. They could pretty much eat whatever they wanted
disgusting.
because that's what monkeys do. You know,
Yeah.
they eat. They're scavengers. You know, they're
Yeah.
omnivores. They eat whatever they want. They would get shot multiple times, and they wouldn't
And not go
die
down.
That's just creepy.
because they're gorillas, and you know,
They're fucking massive.
and they wouldn't need as much sleep because you know gorillas. I don't know the sleeping patterns of gorillas
Yeah.
really, but that was just what he thought. I don't know. I'm
yeah,
not Jane Goodall. I don't know what fucking gorillas do.
Yeah, I don't know.
But apparently they would not require as much sleep. So he wanted to make these soldiers that would just run to battle and just fucking
Wreck shit.
destroy, which they really didn't need because in World War II they pretty much did whatever the fuck they felt like for a while.
Until
They came and then they were just like, well, we're gonna fuck you right back, and they just went back. But you know, so he tried to make these things, and the woman had sex with a monkey, and you know, of course, nothing happened because a woman can't get pregnant by interspecies.
Yeah,
you know,
like the gene, like I understand like where he was coming from because like humans and
fucking
apes
idiot.
are like I know
reading a little bit too much Greek mythology, I think.
Yeah,
It's like, if a swan fucks a girl, then they
Yeah.
make a demigod.
Yeah.
Fucking come
Like-
on.
like I could see where he's coming from since there were like what 3 great apes, like the chimps, the gorillas, and us. I could
Yeah.
like where, but it's
Well, there's also orangutans, whatever they belong to.
orangutans. I don't know.
They're great apes, but I don't know what the fuck they belong to.
But like there's like
Chimps.
enough
Yeah.
like genes
Fucking whatever
shared,
he thought
but
he could do
Yeah,
was just
somehow.
retarded because it doesn't work that way.
it
doesn't- Doesn't flow that way. You can't have anything that's not human. Can't
Fuck a human
and create a creature from it. Like
you
it's just,
need like
you could splice genes. You
Yeah,
could
you
try
need,
that,
like- you need,
but that
like,
would
alien
require DNA analysis, which is something that we can do nowadays. But
now, but not.
we're not gonna
regular,
fuck
like,
with
1930s.
gene-human splicing because we're not gonna find human test subjects to be like,
No,
yeah, we're
it-
just gonna fuse you with a fucking jellyfish. Like- They did that with a cat. There's a jelly cat, which you can buy, and it's a pet that you can have in your own home. It's a cat that glows in the dark.
Ew.
And that's a fucking thing you can buy.
The-
And it's the genes of a jellyfish and a cat mixed together.
That's just
Like-
Do you want a mouse that squeaks like a bird?
no.
You can get that.
I don't
It's
want
a
that.
mouse whose genes have been spliced with a bird that
That's
makes
creepy.
the chirping noise. They're
Ugh.
called chirping mice.
Yeah.
What, okay, hold on. When you said we're gonna combine you with jellyfish, I automatically thought of the jellyfish from like was it whale tail or whatever the fuck it's called?
The fuck is dolphin tail?
No. The one where Will Smith was.
Oh, that one with Will
fish.
Smith.
What was it?
Oh, shark tail.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Where I automatically
The
thought like
Jamaican
those, like,
jellyfish?
Yeah, the Jamaican
Dude, one of those
jellyfish.
jellyfish was Bob Marley's brother.
When-
It was
like,
Ziggy Marley. It's like his son or his brother. I can't remember what.
a relative of it.
Well, and he plays a Jamaican Rastafarian jellyfish.
That's automatically what I thought. It was just like that dude for whatever reason.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so we're gonna move on from jellyfish and gene splicing, which we went fucking from the Marvel comics. This is what's fun about a podcast. You can literally go start on one thing and just fuck your own mind and go anywhere. So, Cloud Strife, I think, is going to be video game character of 2016. He's gonna be the biggest thing probably. He's been irrelevant for like 14 years.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
Since the PlayStation 1. Smash Brothers DLC. He's announced for Smash Brothers DLC. Final Fantasy VII Remake
Yeah.
happens. And then he gets a skin in World of Warcraft that you can put on your character.
I saw that.
Why?
He's been in 3 different things. Well, because they're trying to promote Final Fantasy
yeah,
VII. So, they're going to put him in as many mediums as possible.
They decided that, making more Final Fantasy games that are based off of online
Stuff.
RPGs is kind of dumb. And let's go back to Final Fantasy VII.
Well, I think people have been
that's how it
asking for
goes.
Final Fantasy VII Remake for years.
Yeah.
Like, the PlayStation 2 came out and they were like, you should remake Final Fantasy
Yeah,
VII
but
with these
that's
graphics.
that's the only one that's been really remade or had any kind of popularity. Like Final
Well,
Fantasy
because it was the one with
VIII.
Cloud.
Yeah, well,
That's the
yeah.
one. That's
There's-
Cloud is
there's
literally the poster child of Final Fantasy, and like he was only in like 4 games.
Yeah, and I think he was in like Advent Children, the movie.
Well,
that
yeah,
that
he was in a few
it
movies.
It was Advent Children was Final Fantasy VII. So.
Yeah, but like he's the most popular character because that video game has such an impact. Because the guy who made that video game put a lot of heart and soul into that game.
Mhm.
His mother died during production, and he wanted to display the pain of death with Ares' death in the game.
Ares' death.
And that's pretty much what it did. And he also wanted to make the message that just because someone dies doesn't mean they're gone forever, which is why he made the live stream.
I get it.
So the creator the creator of Final Fantasy put his heart and soul into all those games because the when he made Final Fantasy, he it was his final chance to make a project. Because if he failed at this, he would have to go back to school and get a new career and rethink his life.
Yeah.
So it was literally his Final Fantasy of making a good video game, and it caught on, and it fucking now it's the biggest
Now we have like 15
RPG
games.
this side of Kmart.
There's like 15 games.
Yeah,
of
but the
it.
new ones
there's-
suck.
Well,
PlayStation,
like-
the PlayStation 3 ones are, I'm sorry, but they're awful. They're so bad, and I'm
I
not the only
like
person.
With lightning in it.
The Lightning ones are terrible. I'm not the only one who thinks this. The internet would agree with me. I'm sure 95% of the internet would agree with me. They're so bad. The old ones worked, right?
Yeah,
Because
they
it
had a
was,
thing.
it was like 2D and it kind of like fucking fit. An RPG fit, you know? What if you were playing Pokemon on a 3D spectrum, and whenever you walked somewhere in the tall grass, you could see the Pokemon before you touched them? And it's not a surprise anymore. It's just like, oh, there's a Bulbasaur. Now I can walk up to that Bulbasaur and catch it. And Final Fantasy, the new ones just seem kind of, too
easy. No,
they weren't easy. They were just like, it was just,
Easy my
first
ass.
of all, when you walk in the game, you can't even go left or right. You literally just walk forward.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
that is true.
That's the whole game. You just walk forward.
You just
That's-
walk forward. You can't experiment or look around.
That's the
or
whole
anything
fucking,
like
yeah.
that.
and it's like, okay, and like
You have to follow the line.
Final Fantasy VI, which is my favorite Final Fantasy, fucking broke down the boundaries because when that game came out on the SNES, there was a limited sound card, there was limited graphics, and they still managed to make a game that was fun to
good
play,
game.
had a beautiful soundtrack, and really made you part of the story. You really felt like connected to the characters, I think. And Final Fantasy VI was my favorite. I really think that was the best one. But 7 was also amazing. It was a PlayStation 1 game. It was probably one of the biggest hits on the PlayStation 1. If you talk about the PlayStation 1, I'm sure everyone remembers Crash Bandicoot and Final Fantasy 7.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Those are probably the things that they remember the most. Maybe Dino Crisis. If you were like me.
Like I remember Spyro for like
Spyro,
was
that's another character.
Like one of the first.
But the
games I played.
thing that I fucking never got was he was announced for Smash DLC first, and then the Final Fantasy remake was announced afterwards.
So
Now, was that just
Spyro.
Nintendo's blind luck of hooking a character that just so happened to become big, or did they know, or did they, they got the information from the Final Fantasy guys that they were going to remake this game and that Cloud was going to become big again? Because of all the Final Fantasy characters they chose Cloud,
Yeah.
And he was DLC. Not even a week later, Final Fantasy VII
remake.
the game where Cloud was announced in
Conspiracy.
is
Conspiracy.
X-Files theme plays. But it's just it's interesting because he's being announced with Midgard as a stage in Smash. And all these third-party characters are coming out. And a lot of people are kind of getting pissed off about it because they want to see more characters from Nintendo. But
I mean,
let's be honest, Matsuhiro Sakurai is fucking done with Smash Brothers.
Yes.
Let's let him.
It's kind of died off a little bit, I think. But
It's died off because new shit is coming out, but Masahiro Sakurai is literally fed up with making Smash Brothers games. He wanted Melee to be the last one.
Yeah, and then
people were like, Brawl, and now there's
it's-
you, and now people... Because the thing, Masahiro Sakurai said, the minute a game comes out, people already want to see a sequel.
Yeah.
When he made, Kirby, people were like, when's Kirby 2 coming out?
Sequel.
When it was released. And I think people don't understand how the process of making a sequel works, that it takes so much time and thought, because I mentioned this to my girlfriend, she didn't understand it, and I was like, let me bring up something that's very, very predominant. The minute I beat Last of Us, I went online and I saw pages upon pages of people asking Naughty Dog for Last of Us 2.
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us 2 was people wanted it, really bad. They weren't just happy with how it ended. They needed a sequel.
Yeah.
And, I just beat the game, and that was maybe, a few weeks after it came out. Because the game is long.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And
It's a really good game, too. I love the story.
it's a great game, and it's very immersive, and that's why people wanted a sequel so bad.
Right.
But can't something just stand alone on its own and
Sometimes
be
you just
wonderful?
need one story. You
one
can't
thing.
just-
One thing.
I mean, with movies, video games, I find that sequels tend to lack in the... I can't even think of it.
The strength of the original.
Yeah,
roster,
the first one hits you, and you're like, oh, I want a second one, or other people are like, I want a second one.
It's like
And
a
they
snack
make
food.
a second one, and it's like a disappointment. And then everyone is bashing.
Except for Ghostbusters 2. That was a masterpiece.
Yeah, well, then again, you can't go wrong with Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters 2 was the only thing that came out that was probably just as good as the original.
Oh.
And Banjo-Tooie. When Banjo-Kazooie came out and Banjo-Tooie came out afterwards, I think those two pretty bounced.
Like the one thing I have to say was a good series, and then this is my perspective, was the Silent Hill video games.
And now that's no longer happening.
That's no longer happening, but
We're gonna get on that
the
too.
only thing is the first 4 games, they were each different stories.
Homecoming
different-
kind of wasn't that good.
Homecoming was the 5th game, and you know what? After that, it went downhill. The first
It went down Silent Hill?
It,
Well, yes,
God. But
and balls.
the first game when you're playing it on the PlayStation 1, the story is
The story was
eerie.
so good that it made up for the shitty controls.
Exactly.
Same thing with Resident Evil.
Yeah,
The controls were terrible,
Mhm.
but it made up for it because of the
because of the
immersion and the
storyline.
atmosphere and the story.
And then the second one had an interesting storyline, but again, shitty controls.
Well,
Third one got a little
graphics.
bit. Third one got a little bit better, and
The
it
graphics were
connected with the
revolutionary.
first game.
Yeah.
And then the 4th game was a completely different story, and you went inside the serial killer's mind. That was
Was
pretty
that
awesome.
Downpour?
That was
Downpour had the same
Room.
thing. Downpour was
Room.
the same thing.
Oh,
Downpour,
yeah.
Where you went to the killer's
Downpour,
mind.
I did not like Downpour.
I played Downpour.
After Homecoming was okay, but for me, Silent Hill was.
I liked Prom better.
Yeah, Silent Hill was bought out from Konami to an American thing, but they were still taking the name Konami at the time. It was just funding it. But
Konami still owns Silent Hill's
Yeah,
property.
but
That's why they're releasing
the first-
pachinko machines.
but the first 4 games, those had the Japanese horror aspect, which I find
better.
I find better than American horror stories.
That's a good show.
Yeah, it's really messed up. But the other games just lacked that eerie feeling. It was more like, oh, I'm watching a horror movie,
but like,
typical horror
when
movie.
it comes to sequels, people bitch about it too. Like, for instance, and I think this is a perfect example, because this is my favorite video game series, personally. I always switch between Fallout and Mother. Mother was probably one of my favorite video game series, and people know from my Let's Play channel how much I love Mother, even though...
God, there's like so many videos of that.
Even though, because it's a long fucking series. It's like a 12-chapter game. And it's for the Game Boy Advance. They fit all of that on a Game Boy Advance cartridge. But, I said fuck Mother last time, so people were probably like, what the hell? Because I was so angry at the game. I got a little salty. But Mother 1 comes out, NES, and was not localized in the West. Mm-hmm. Earthbound comes out, Mother 2 in Japan, but is released in America as Earthbound because there was no first Mother, so it couldn't be called Mother 2 in America, because then they would be like, where the fuck's Mother 1? Then Mother 3 comes out, Japanese exclusive again. An American translation was released, not officially by Itoi, but was released. Later. So recently we have Earthbound Origins, which is released on the Wii U, which was the first Mother game, just westernized. Mother 3 still has not been westernized by Japan, but then again, that's not Japan's fault. That's America's fault, because there's a Japanese Nintendo company and then there's an American Japanese company, and everything that comes from Japan to America, Mario games, Zelda games, all of it, has to get the approval of the American company to be released to an American audience, and also has to follow the ESRB rating. Mother 3 has a little problems coming out. My personal opinion on it is because it tackles very mature subject matter, like transgender people, and rape, and a bunch of other things. Yeah. And it hasn't been localized. But American audiences have... Mother is probably one of the most outspoken fandoms, because people constantly talk about it and talk about how they want it to be westernized and want it to come to the United States. Shigesato Itoi, who's a childhood hero of mine, I loved him. And he was actually the voice of the dad in My Neighbor Totoro. He was an actor before he was a video game maker. Then he says, Mother's done. I'm not making any more. I feel like I've said everything I can with Mother, and the 3 games are fine as they are. It's all I'm doing with that series. And this is I think, I'm not 100% sure on this, he does work with other things, but he's usually not the face of the operation. With Mother, he was the face of the operation. That was his child. That was the only thing he's really known for. Like, Shigeru Miyamoto has Mario, Link, Metroid, pretty much all of the stuff is his. And he made this one thing and he's like, I'm done. American audiences, I constantly see people posting, because I follow a lot of Mother related pages, constantly I see people saying, Itoi doesn't care about us, he hates the Mother series, and he hates his fans because he won't give us another sequel, and he doesn't care about us, and he doesn't want more games. And they're assholes and they're ignorant, but it is the majority of the comments. This is how fucking aggressive people can be. And I've been a Mother fan since, Earthbound, of course, which came out in 1995. But on the SNES. And that was one of the first RPGs I played. Besides Fallout, that was probably the first one I came. But that was the first JRPG I played. And that was probably that's still one of my favorite games. And Markiplier's favorite game too, actually. Yeah. And people complain so hard about having a sequel. And Mother 4 is being announced as a fan game. A bunch of fans are making it. And Itoi stated that I'm not going to be making Mother 4, but I would like to see someone else try and make it. And if you make it, I'm not going to slam you with a copyright. I want to see how creative you guys can be. And Mother 4 is announced. These fans have been working on it since like 2013, and it keeps being delayed, which I don't have a problem with, but a lot of people are complaining about, because it's a game making process, and they're fans. And the screenshots look very, very good. They look like it would be made by Nintendo. It looks like something Itoi would make. And Itoi makes a comment on it saying, like, I hear Mother 3 is being made without my permission, ha 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 ha, I'm looking forward to playing it. And, like, people bitch at this guy for making a sequel, which he's not going to do. And he's like, but, like, the thing is, if you scream hard enough, maybe he'll be like, okay, like, since they're complaining so much, like, I'll do it. Fine. That's how Sakurai felt. Sakurai made the Kirby series, and he continued to make Kirby games until he felt like it was an over-sequelized thing, and he left Nintendo. He made Super Smash Brothers and came back. Then he felt like, And then they started making Melee without his permission.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, we're already making it, so you might as well join. And then he made Melee, and then he was like, this is it with Smash.
Yeah.
And then people were like, another.
Dude.
And he made another, and they were like, another. And he made another.
People are
And when the
greedy.
new Wii comes out, the new fucking Nintendo Dolphin comes out, they're gonna be like, I want another Smash Smush Brothers on that one too.
Smash Smush.
And that's why, I really think that's why Sakurai, going back to Cloud, I really think that's why Sakurai is including so many DLC characters, is because he really wants this to be the last installment. That's why he's gonna try and that's why they had a voting thing. Who do you want to see in Smash? Because if you can appeal to the masses, then those masses will be like, this is my favorite character, he's in Smash, I don't need another one.
Yeah.
You know, like, I really feel like that's where he was going with it. But I really hope that, you know, I want to see what Sakurai can do. I want to see him move on to something else. And I want to see Toei move on to something else. Maybe they work on something together. Nintendo?
That would be interesting.
Do you hear that, Nintendo?
Partnership?
I can feel my wallet fucking listening.
No, watch that little bit just blows up.
But they were
on the
all
internet.
friends.
Yeah.
Itoi, Sakurai, Miyamoto, and Iwata, they were all friends. They all hung out together.
Mhm.
Like Nintendo as a company, but they're all friends. Even fucking Reggie is friends with them. You know, Reggie, the Nintendo Direct, American spokesperson. They were all buddies. Like Itoi especially was friends with Iwata when he died. There was a very long speech that Itoi made about, you know, the death of Iwata. He even released pictures of Iwata in his home playing video games in leisurely wear. Because every single time you saw a picture of Iwata, he was pretty much in a suit. You know, so like
it gives like that image of he's
a person,
one of us. As
yeah,
well.
he's a human.
He's not just like someone who. Like,
he's not some faceless corporation, you know. And like Iwata dies, and Shigeru Miyamoto's not thinking about, you know, retiring, because I'm sure he watched the friend of his death and saw his own mortality and was like, I don't want to be doing this for my whole life.
Yeah.
You know, like.
I'm going to retire. I want to leave.
But that being said, Super Mario Galaxy 3 is happening. So
yeah, I love how like so far we went to like DC, like Marvel DC movies, to like
to fuckery.
To
Cloud.
To like quickly
Nintendo.
to like 1930s, 1940s history, back to like Marvel DC, then like video games. And
that's
then,
the
like,
point.
death,
That's the deal we're having here. All right. Now we're gonna talk about Konami and how they're assholes.
Yep.
So, Konami has done us the privilege of firing the maker of Castlevania, the maker of Silent Hill, and Kojima, who was the Metal Gear Solid guy. All right. Kojima.
Didn't they say that they just left the project?
Huh?
I thought they said they.
No, they fired them. They're fired.
Wow.
Like Silent Hill guy is gone. They're all gone because, and this is what happened. Konami said that kids don't want video games anymore. Video games are a dying breed. What they want is they want gambling machines, and they want mobile games that you can play on your iPhone and iPad.
That's obviously bullshit.
Oh, okay, hold on.
So
I could see like the mobile games to a certain extent.
mobile games, yeah, but like
slot machines.
Pachinko machines were pretty much what they were aiming for, which are very fun. I like pachinko machines, but like they took the creator of Castlevania, the creator of Silent Hill, and the creator of Metal Gear Solid, Kojima, who I really think has gotten the raw end of the stick. They said, you're going to be working in the mobile apps department, and they were like, we don't know how to do that, and they were like, oh, well,
then you're fine.
Get out. Kojima, with his release of Metal Gear Solid, I think 5 was the last thing that just came out. The PlayStation 4 one? Yeah, Revengeance, whatever the fuck just came out. He won an award. Konami accepted his award on his behalf because they banned him from showing up at the Game Awards.
That's messed up.
Okay.
Kojima has been fucked utterly. Square Enix's president, their past president, he doesn't work there anymore, has described Konami's treatment of Kojima as quote unquote cruel. Mm-hmm. One word, cruel.
Hey, Konami, do you smell that? Do you smell that? Do you hear that coming in the air? Like flying from
It's fucking Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hills, and Castlevania's fanboys coming to burn down your entire corporation.
That, but also, do you smell that? Do you smell that? That smells like a giant fucking lawsuit right there.
It smells like a giant lawsuit. Wrapped in go fuck yourself, you sold out.
Yes.
Konami canceled the Silent Hill project.
Yeah.
Then fired the guy who was behind it, and Kojima was also behind it, and they fired him and got rid of him. And they're acting like the KGB. They're trying to get rid of pretty much any evidence of. And Castlevania's creator has recently started a Kickstarter if you want to go fund his project, which is, I think it's Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, just under a different title, but he doesn't own Castlevania anymore. He doesn't own he lost his own property. Konami owns Castlevania, they own Metal Gear Solid, and they own Silent Hill. So they're gonna keep making shit with that. These people who are the creators, who are the intellectual properties, don't own their own properties anymore. Same thing happened with the guy who made Mega Man. Capcom fired him, got rid of him. No, he left the company actually. And he was like, you're not making any Mega Man shit, and I'm not making any money, and this is bullshit. And they were like, okay, well, Mega Man's ours, so if you leave the company, you don't get him, even though you created him. Fuck you. We're going to put him in Marvel vs. Capcom, fuck me. Alright? The sequel. He's going to be DLC character. They're going to have to pay $3.99 to play as Mega Man. That's pretty much what Capcom's doing now. And Konami's taking the same exact road. And people...
The two companies that made some of the best games.
Iconic people. You know,
or the biggest fucking idiots.
They don't know how to license anymore. No, and the problem with it is, I don't know if you've seen it, either of you. Konami released a new Silent Hill trailer. It starts out looking like a remake of Silent Hill 4, which I think was the most popular, right?
It was between. Actually, it was.
Maybe it was 2. Silent Hill 2.
4.
I think 2. Maybe it was remake of Silent Hill 2. The one where you play as the guy looking for his daughter.
His daughter. That's the first game.
Really?
Yes, the first game is Harry Mason.
Well, no, maybe the daughter looking for the...
And the third one is the daughter not looking for the dad, but
I have fucking no idea.
on the daughter.
Whatever it was a remake of a classic that people loved. All right, it looked like a remake. It looked like something they were trying to repackage and remake and bring out as like,
I know
this is what you guys have been asking for. Remake of Silent Hill, blah, blah, blah. And then it's released and announced as a pachinko machine. It's a gambling machine. But it starts out looking like a remake.
Yeah, you know what? I actually remember that.
And then they're just like, fuck you! It's not a remake. You want to fucking lose all your money?
Yeah.
Pachinko. Like...
That's horrible.
And that's what they've been doing. They released another thing that looked like a Castlevania remake of a game.
And it's bullshit.
And it's a pachinko machine.
Yeah.
You know? Castlevania was one of my favorite series. That was an NES game, you know, that I used to play.
I've heard about that, but I've never actually played it.
It's a platformer. I like it because it circulates around a family. You know, every single time you play the game, you play as a relative of, you know, either the ancestor or a descendant. So it's usually Simon Belmont, but then sometimes you play as Trevor Belmont, and there's Richter Belmont, and there's a bunch of different characters, and they're all pretty much fighting Dracula. That's pretty much the whole story. But like, you know, there's a bunch of characters in it, like Wolfman, the Mummy, Frankenstein. You usually have like horror movie
classic horror tropes.
Yeah, because back when you made an NES game, you couldn't make like a horror game.
Right.
You know, you had to make a game that was horror elemented.
But also chopped.
But also, you know, you didn't have the graphics or the sound card to make something scary.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't have that until the GameCube and PlayStation 1, and Nintendo 64. But that's pretty much what's going on there. Well, Konami fucked over Kojima. That's pretty much the point.
Speaking of horror games, I don't mean to cut you off.
We're pretty much done on that.
Yeah.
Because I know you have a channel for your.
I have a YouTube channel. Yes. So you can go to nerdapure.com/GG5456/2. Pay me.
And I've seen obviously like Markiplier now that you played a lot of horror games as well.
Yes, me.
What's your favorite horror game? Do you have
favorite horror game?
Because I know you're playing Dreadout, and I know how frustrated you're getting with
Dreadout is a piece of shit. I'm gonna put that out there. It is
just so you know, it's a copy of
It's in the same
Fatal
style.
Frame.
It's not a copy. It's in the same style of Fatal
so
Frame.
better.
It's in the same style as Fatal Frame. All right. But that's not what's wrong with it. What's wrong with it is that it has glitches that can break the whole game and make you start from wherever it is you want it to be. Well, the game cleverly does, you can start from Act 0, Act 1, or Act 2, right? So if you're not far into Act 2 and the game breaks, you can go back. But if the game breaks when you're at the end of Act 2, then you have to go all the way back to the beginning because you have one save file, which is the problem I have with most games. But there's also glitches in the game where it's like, oh, like I can't walk this way, or it's telling me that I can't go this way, so I might as well go this way. But this play just got me stuck, so I have to restart.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been reading on Steam about all of these game-breaking glitches. But I'm gonna go back to what your story was. I haven't played many big-named horror games. You know, but what makes a good horror game is, you know, atmosphere, immersion, and you know, being scared probably, but not being. There's different forms of fear. You know, there's jump scares, which is not really a form of fear.
Yeah, which is like I was going to say
jump scares. Yeah, but that's not really a form of fear as much as it is
startlement.
A startle. Yeah, because even if I tickle you, that's the same. That your brain is reacting to it as fear. That's fear. That's exactly what that is. You being tickled is your brain thinking it's fear. So that's essentially what a jump scare is. It's like a prick. It's like a who. You know, like.
What was that?
But psychological horror is what really can nail you down. You know?
Like Evil Within.
It fucks with your mind.
Evil Within, is a good horror game,
No.
but I didn't get immersed into it because of how unlikable the characters were.
How weird it was.
How unlikable the characters were. They were just
the characters weren't likable.
Sebastian's in the game for 45 minutes. 3 people have died. His best friend's possessed. And he's like, something's wrong. Something's weird here. What's going on here, guys? Why the fuck did my friend try to kill me and his teeth are falling out?
What game was really scary?
I just shot my friend in the face. What's happening?
You know what game really, I think, put the fear in, like the fear set? It wasn't like a it's not like what you said. Yeah. Whatever. I can't speak. But Outlast. When you play as the reporter.
Yes.
I played that.
Yes.
And I can't play that by myself. I love horror games,
Outlast,
but I can't play that by
Outlast
myself.
is interesting. There's a new brand of fear that's been coming out, new brand of horror game that's been coming out, that where you are powerless to stop the force.
Okay.
And that's what makes it scary. That's the only thing that makes it scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you had a gun in Outlast, it wouldn't be scary.
No.
But the fact that you are powerless to do anything about what's happening, and that's the fear of the unknown, which plays widely into psychological horror because you don't know what's going to happen next, and when it happens, you can't stop it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fear that's, 95% of people can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
realistic.
Yeah, very realistic. I think Resident Evil is probably one of the best horror games, but it's not my favorite. I don't think Resident Evil is a good horror game because, they made all these different Resident Evil games. In Resident Evil 5, you can pick off zombies like nobody's business.
It's like 4 had a good storyline, but
4 fucked the storyline, actually. A lot of people think 4 was the best game, but 4
I don't think it was best.
took the storyline and was like, because like...
I think my favorite Resident Evil game, honestly, I think would have been...
Have you ever played the first one?
I played the first one, the second one, the one with Jill, that's the third one, I think, Nemesis.
Yeah.
And then...
Resident Evil 0!
There was another one like that.
Which is just coming to Steam. But Resident Evil 1 was the best.
And Code Veronica. I like
Resident Evil 1 was the best because when you saw a zombie, there was nothing you could do about it. You couldn't kill it. You had a pistol, so you felt safe in the beginning. You're like, I have a gun. If you played the other Resident Evil games and you had guns, you could just pick off zombies like nobody's business. There was no problem. Resident Evil 1, if you shot that zombie, like you could empty like 3 clips into him, and he wouldn't die.
Yeah,
and ammo was scarce, so you really had to make the shots count. And if you did manage to kill them, they would just come back later as Crimson Heads or whatever, and they were just faster and more aggressive. So there wasn't really much you could do about it.
That's another series that started out really good and then got...
So that's Capcom.
Yeah.
So, what's the best horror game? I did like It Moves a lot, which is on my channel, which is an indie game, which is based off of a creepypasta. And the kid... It Moves.
I don't know what... I don't know.
It's just called It Moves.
Yeah.
There's no big name. There's no brand character like Jeff the Killer McDonald's in it.
That's overdone.
No slender Burger King. There's no fucking. There's no Mick creepypasta character in it. It's a boy, and it's like a 2-hour long game. But I knocked it out in 2 episodes, like 2 45-minute episodes.
I'll check it out later.
It's about a boy who the plot's kind of like he just switches rooms with his brother or whatever the fuck. Like he's old enough that he gets his own room and he's like, fuck yeah. And he has a bunk bed, so he sleeps in the top bunk, right? And the game is RPG like. It's almost like you're a little character just walking around, right?
Yeah.
But every single time the character falls asleep, you enter his like nightmare reality.
Okay, I think
where he, every nightmare is different each time.
I think I know what you're talking about.
So Markiplier also played this.
Yeah, I remember.
So when you walk around, there's like different tasks you have to do. Like you have to like pick up something and then like move it or whatever the fuck. So there's like minuscule, simple shit, right? Like if there weren't monsters in the way, it would just be like, this is easy. All I have to do is pick up this and put it here. But because the game has such an atmosphere where there's just constantly noises going on in your ears, and you never see really what's going on.
It just
and like eventually, like you'll see something like just move out of frame, but like it was never fully in the frame to begin with. So all you see is all you're doing is focusing on your character, and then in the corner of your eye you see, and you're just like, the fuck was that? But when you look, it's too late. Like that was pretty much what that game was. It was an indie game. It was made on RPG Maker, which I must have taken years to do because RPG Maker is not a very good platform to make a game on. It could take like 3 years to make a 2-minute game.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And each stream was different, and each stream got like a little fucking weirder,
a little bit darker, a little
and
bit
this kid
scarier.
also had a plot. So like you played the game, and then the kid would wake up in the morning, and there would be like a text sequence that you would follow. I didn't feel good last night, and this kid's like really understanding that something odd is going, and he knows that he doesn't want to go back to bed, that kind of shit. If you don't want me to spoil it for you, I won't. But as time goes on, there's just things that happen. It'll be like, pick up the mask, and you'll be like, all right, I'm gonna pick up this mask. When you pick up the mask, like a face will be slightly on the screen, just enough that you can notice it's there, but just not enough that it's obnoxious. It's like tainted onto the screen, and it's just like smiling at you, and you're just like walking with this face on the screen. There's one part you get to where all you're doing is walking right. That's the whole dream. Is you just walk right enough until it's over. Once you go far enough, there's babies on pikes, just like twitching and shit. And like as you're walking, you're just like, okay, this is getting fucked up.
Yeah,
this is getting fucked up. And then they start opening their eyes and blinking and like making noises. And then you're like, this is fucked up, right? This is even more fucked up. Once you get far enough, babies start coming from both sides and just start getting closer to you and closer to you, and they're crying. And there's nothing you can do. You can't go right, you can't go left. You are trapped. You are helpless. And that's what makes a good horror game. Helplessness. That's when you know that you're downright fucked. Yeah. And like, that's like, the consequence in your head is like, oh, he's not gonna die. It's just a dream. But in that moment, it's still like, what the fuck? Where do I go? What do I do? Like I'm being pinned down by baby zombies. Like there's nothing.
Zombie babies.
There's nothing you can really do about it.
There's
Dead Space also, the first one.
Dead Space is a good one.
The first one.
Yeah, that game.
Not 2 and 3. Because the first game, your character didn't have a voice and he was scared by just about everything going on because this was all new to him. The second game, he had a little bit of experience and he had a voice. So, he fought him, beat him. By the end of the beginning of the third game, middle of the third game, Isaac Clarke is like, he's like, I've done this before. Whatever. This is another fucking Sunday. Like I've been killing fucking necromorphs since the dawn of time. To me, like this is all I know anymore. And it became less scary because your character was so like confident in his abilities to kill these things that was just like, I'm not scared anymore.
You heard of Until Dawn, right?
Yes.
Did you
Until Dawn. Until Dawn is something I would really like to play. Unfortunately, it's not a PC game.
It's only on PS4.
Is it just a PS4 game? Until Dawn is another game that's becoming very popular nowadays. I don't know much about how it plays, but all I know is there's options.
It's an optional game where you can make your own decisions.
Can you actually walk around?
Yeah.
Or is there just an A and B
button? No.
Okay.
You can walk wherever and find whatever. That actually depends on your ending of the game.
Until Dawn is a very interesting game. I know how it ends. I know pretty much everything about it. And I know that you make options, you make choices to save people, or not.
Or kill, or...
Yeah.
Do whatever.
The only character in that game that is redeemable is the main villain.
Yeah, what's his face?
Josh.
Yeah.
He's the only person.
Spoilers.
That's not a fucking dick.
Mm-hmm.
I love Josh. I loved his character. Like,
he's the only person who's not a fucking asshole. He just has
Yeah.
mental disorders. That's the only fucking problem
he was screwed over. Like, I think he had mental disorders because of his sisters.
Yeah.
Well,
and
he was mistreated. He was mistreated.
He was mistreated, and I had to read about it, and his sisters apparently abused him. And
well, one of his sisters isn't dead.
Yeah, well, the one, we're not gonna get to that.
But I do like how there is a, they really wanted to bring back like what a slasher horror movie wanted to be.
And that was it was pretty.
But
good game.
It was interesting because there was two aspects to it. There was a slasher killer, and then there was the supernatural aspect, which were the Wendigos, which showed up in the game.
So that kind of I wouldn't say fucked with your mind, but it definitely made you a little. What the fuck's going on? I thought this guy.
I think the Wendigos were very interesting because they're a creature that's not really brought up much.
It's
in like
I think
modern
they were brought
day.
up in Supernatural once, maybe.
Yeah, but
that was it. I've never heard of a Wendigo until I saw the
Wendigo was a. Well, now we're gonna talk about fucking mythology. Wendigo is a Native American legend. Okay.
The Algonquin.
Algonquin and
where they
was
lived.
another group. Well, they traveled.
Yeah.
It's you can't. Okay, when it comes to Native Americans, you can't say they're from this area because they were nomadic. They went wherever they had supplies.
Mm-hmm.
So these people, Native Americans, they believed that if you there's a lot to the game that they don't include because they I guess wanted to make you have a chance. In real mythology, when it came to Wendigos, you had no chance.
Yeah, you like once one
Wendigos once one finds you, you're dead. There's no way you can really get away from it unless you kill it. But it's hard to kill them because
because from what I saw in the game, they were very quick.
They're people.
Yeah,
they're just people.
They're just people.
What happens is when you are in, and there's actually a Wendigo syndrome, which is a real psychosis you can have. Yes, but when you're out in the forest, there's certain forests you can be in. If you hear a Wendigo call your name and it'll just sound like the wind, that kind of thing, you'll start to get hunger. You'll start to get like a hunger for human people, even if you have plenty of food to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Once you start to actually indulge in the act of cannibalism, you'll start to take the form of a Wendigo, which until dawn, they actually looked like deer mixed with people. Like they had long black fingers.
I would say more like deer mixed with spiders mixed with people because they had the long arms and the way they crawled.
They didn't do that in real mythology though. Yeah. They just had long fingers and they didn't crawl around and hop around. They didn't need to do that. Once they had you, they would have you. Yeah. They had extreme supernatural strength, but they had the head of a deer with antlers and rows of sharp teeth. And the Wendigo, once you indulge in cannibalism, that was pretty much its ability to come possess you. Like it had the opportunity to live again and to eat humans. That's all it pretty much wants. Mm-hmm. Once it has you, and once you are aware of its presence, a Wendigo can literally travel through time and space to find you.
That is creepy.
So if Until Dawn, if they were dealing with actual Wendigos from the story, even if they made it home, it could still find them. And scary of all, it could stop time. You could literally stop time and just get you. Mm-hmm. There was literally nothing you could do. Like Wendigo OP, please nerf. That's all I'm gonna say. They were just overpowered, strong creatures. But then again, Native Americans had a lot of very interesting creatures. There were beaver people that would drown you, all kinds of weird shit. But the Wendigo didn't actually made its way into real world because Wendigo psychosis is if you are out in the woods with your friends, you can develop something called Wendigo psychosis, which is insatiable hunger for humans. Yeah. Even if you have plenty of food, all you want to do is eat people. Mm-hmm. And it's like a weird psychosis. It's a form of panic, really. And Native Americans probably thought that this was some kind of demon, and that's probably where they got it from.
Yeah.
But it was a fucking horrible, terrible monster that would just fucking fuck you. Any chance I had, it would just fuck you. And they were terrifying. They were scary. They were unnatural. And you could kill them, you could blow them up, you could shoot them, but like. They're pretty much super people, They were like they could take bullets, they could take fucking whatever.
You saw that in the game too. I mean, they didn't really do any damage to anything.
Well, a few of them died. There was like a hunter.
The only way you can do is if you burn them alive or something like that.
It was a hunter.
Because
stranger.
in that game, it was basically anything related to fire, and if they were caught in the fire, they their soul would be released.
Yeah, so something like that. Yeah.
Something like that.
But yeah, they're interesting. They're very odd, very interesting creatures. I mean, Pine Barrens is a very popular area where Wendigos are said to be, and they're like there are spottings of Wendigos all the time. People are like, I saw this fucking thing. You know, there are cannibalistic people who live in the forests.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
Yeah.
In many different places, because you know once you get caught,
you're
alone and you're stranded. People kill people. I mean, there was a ship that went, or not ship, airplane that went down in like the Everglades or whatever.
In Russia?
Was it Russia?
Or
with the soccer players? There was a bunch of soccer players.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of soccer players that crashed into a snowy area. I don't know where.
Yeah.
And a lot of them died, and they were on their way to a soccer match.
Yeah.
And they were stranded on the island, and they ate their
they weren't like sinister about it.
No, they actually were very remorseful when they got rescued. They were very sad about it. You know, I didn't want to eat my friends. I just was.
In order to survive, I had to, and
they were already dead. So.
And there we go. That's.
They're still alive. People interview them. You know, they're just sad. But you know, Wendigos Until Dawn, I really would want to play because it looks like a very interesting experience. Maybe someday.
A lot of the characters are relatable too.
A lot of the characters are also really assholey.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them are like Emily. Oh my god, that was probably the only person I would want to kill.
And they're all like 18 and 19 years old.
They're like 20.
They're in their 20s and
something like that.
No, they're all 18 or 19.
They're between. They're college kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
because
like
they're
game
talking
theorists.
about partying and drinking and all that stuff.
Yeah, but
they're all like
you don't have to be 21 to drink, Freddie.
Oh, speaking of that, the new drinking law. February 2016. You have to be 23 to be legal.
I think that was a hoax.
I don't know, but we'll find out February.
I'm sure it's a hoax. I
don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that's most likely going to make like news headlines somewhere.
That's the hoax. It's a bullshit hoax.
Yeah. But Until Dawn. I mean, I watched the whole walkthrough. I think 3 times. I watched PewDiePie played it, Markiplier, and Jacksepticeye played it. I think too.
Yeah.
And I still want to play it. I'm not the person that wants to play video games after I watch a whole walkthrough of it. I'm the one that doesn't like to be spoiled with a video game. But that's the kind of game I actually want to play for myself.
A lot of people have been giving me like shit because like I keep playing video games that I like. I keep playing like video games I've already played before. People are like, you should play something you haven't played before because then it's more of a surprise to you. Or you should be playing what Markiplier's playing. Or like because the minute like one YouTuber, famous big YouTuber, starts something, the rest of the other famous YouTubers kind of do it too because they want to do their own spin on it.
Yeah.
Henceforth, like I said,
I don't want to play a game just because some other YouTubers do.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
and like
that's the complete opposite of me too. It's like when it comes to me with cosplaying. If someone else is cosplaying from one anime, I'm gonna be like, I don't want to be part of that.
Alright, I'm gonna go over here, cosplay this dude for this show that you may or may not know.
That you don't even know about.
I actually watched Shingo Bing Mama and I actually cosplay him regularly.
What are the subtitles? Speaking of anime, I'm excited for this, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4 Diamond is Unbreakable has been announced.
No,
completely. And is now coming out, I can assure you, May of 2016, which I'm excited for. Mark your calendars because... Your calendars.
That kind of sounds like a little bit of a friend.
Because I am so excited because that's my favorite JoJo. That's just Suke. And, like...
I heard that has a big fan base.
It's recently it has, though, because the anime just came out. There was an OVG, and now they're remade it. And like the new anime just came out in like 2013, and they started from part 1, and there's part 8. They're on 8 now,
wow.
And part 4 is just being announced now. And this anime's been out since 1984.
Yeah, wow.
And part 4 of the manga hasn't even been westernized. It's just taking a long time. They're working on part 8 right now, but like, it's big, but not a lot of people know a lot about it because it's not really westernized yet.
Right.
It's still coming out. Like Stardust Crusaders, which is part 3, was just like finished in 2014. So they just announced part 4, which a lot of people are excited about, and it's cool because a lot like Castlevania, it follows Bloodline.
Right.
The first one's Jonathan Joestar. The second one's Joseph Joestar. Third one is Jotaro Kujo, who is Joseph Joestar's daughter's son. So she marries a different Japanese man, and then that's where it starts to become Japanese. Because the first guy is British, the second guy is American, and then the third guy is Japanese.
Yeah. I remember you, Chris, and I. We were
watching the first part, and I was like, guys, like, I feel like they should be speaking English, but I get it because because they're in England, and I just feel like it makes more sense. But whatever, whatever. And then part 4 is Japan, because it's Josuke Higasate Kiddo or whatever his name is. It's got a really long name. But they all have the name JoJo, like Jonathan Joestar, Joseph Joestar, Jotaro Kujo, Joe and Kujo, and Josuke Higasate. Not a lot of people know that the kanji for Suke means Joe, so it's JoJo, And then there's, then the next part, it goes down the years. So the first Jonathan is like the 1800s, Britain. And then it's 1930s with Joseph Joestar, because it skips a generation. George Joestar was Jonathan's son, and then he has a kid, and it's Joseph. And then that's 1930. Part 3 is 1980s, because that's Jotaro's time period. And then it goes 1990, and then it goes 2000, 2011, 2014, and it kind of just keeps going. And then it goes back to the 1700s for some reason.
For like weird.
For part 7, Steel Ball Run, and then it goes back to. Actually, maybe
20 something.
I have no idea. I don't know when Jojillian's time period takes place, because that one's still being worked on.
8. Yeah,
part 8. Part 7 though is like a recreation though. It's like all the characters, but like an alternate universe. So like Johnny Joestar is just alternate universe Jonathan Joestar, and Diego Dio Brando is Dio Brando's alternate counterpart. And like there's like all this fucking different stuff,
weird.
and it takes place in America in like the 1700s or 17 whatever the fuck. Because it takes place in America, but the 23rd president is elected in it, so I don't know when that takes place really.
That sounds like the 1900s.
Maybe.
Yeah,
it looks very.
Like 1800.
It looks very like 1776y.
Like that might be.
But it just might be because of the alternate world.
Yeah,
it's all
alternate
different.
world thing.
But whatever the fuck, who cares? But it looks really good, and I'm excited for it because part 4 is 1999, and it's like.
Hey, nostalgia, 1990.
Yeah, it's 1999, and like the first 3 are kind of like centered around the same kind of like
premise of like
the same villain. Yeah, the vampires are the. First 3, and then part 4 is no more vampires. They're all fucking just human enemies now.
That's like when you, Chris, and I were watching it actually. Mm-hmm. That was the weirdest fucking thing. Like the mask turned
people into vampires.
Into a vampire.
Yeah. And the mask gets destroyed in part 2.
But somehow they can be in sunlight, so they're like Blade in it.
No, they die in sunlight.
Ah.
Yeah. They have blood flow and breath.
There's
like a bunch of fucking weird stuff. But then like the first 2 based around Hammond, which is like they would just fight, and then part 3 was stands, where they had stands, which were like personas. So like only stand users could see stands, and only stands can hurt stands, and they were just like people that would come off of the other person and they would just like fight. Yeah. But stands had different abilities. Like one could be, like Jotaro had the stand that was like very fast and had very keen detection skills. Yeah, and then like Joseph Joestar's stand could see the future. Like there was just a bunch of fucking things. Joseph Joestar, by the way, was like my favorite. He gets his debut in the second part, Battle Tendency. They each have different parts. Mm-hmm. And he's like 19, 20. It takes place throughout a couple of years. So he's like 20 by the end of it. Joseph Joestar is the most reoccurring JoJo character. He appears all the way until I think part 6, which takes place in 2014. And he's like 95 in that time period, and he's still like taking care of people and like doing like this fucking thing. Yeah, like he's in Diamond is Unbreakable because Joseph Joestar is Josuke's illegitimate father. So Joseph Joestar cheated on his wife, and Josuke was the result of him cheating on his wife, which is why he has a stand and all the abilities and blah 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 blah. Yeah. But it's just kind of like he's around. He shows up and he's just like, "I'm your real dad." And Josuke's like, "I don't believe you. I don't like
bullshit.
You. I don't like you. You fucking abandoned me. Go fuck yourself." And he's like, eventually, they recognize each other as father and son.
Oh.
But it's like really fucking cool because part 4 is based around like a serial killer. who's like killing people.
Yeah.
But like, he also has a stand, so he's like, fucking with people with the stand, and like, he kills. There's spoilers. He kills Jasuke's grandfather, who's the police chief. So like, he's like, now I'm gonna fucking take up my grandfather's mantle and fight crime, and eventually he tries to track down Kira, which is the murderer. And eventually, like, there's like a bunch of fucking just weird stuff. There's like a place in like, if you die in a certain area, you'll wake up in like an alleyway, and you'll hear someone call you from behind you, and it's like a girl that Kira murdered, and it happens to Kira. There's like a girl who calls you from behind, and if you turn around, these hands will tear you apart and drag you to hell.
Oh god.
But what you're supposed to do is keep walking and then take a left, and then like you'll get out of it or whatever. But like he turns around and gets fucked.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's probably one of my favorite animes. I just started Slam Dunk.
Oh,
Slam
the
Dunk. Which one was
basketball.
that?
Basketball. It's like he's like a red-haired kid. He like loves this girl, but he doesn't know shit about basketball. But she likes basketball, so he's like, I'm a basketball star, like.
Yeah. I'm going.
I haven't read a Slam Dunk, but I did hear
it's from like 1994.
Yeah.
Really old.
Yeah,
that came out
because
years ago.
like the only thing I don't watch sport like anime, but
It's not so sporty. It's more about like their drama and the comedy, because it is a comedy.
Nowadays, it's not about the sports; it's about the abs. Because of Free.
Yeah, Free.
The swimming anime.
I know.
Weird.
What the fuck? There's a swimming anime
Yeah,
now?
it's about a swim team.
Dude,
It's
do
an
you
anime
fucking
about
understand
a swim team.
the drama, the hardships, and the comedy that revolve around a swim team? They go one way, turn around, go back.
Go the other way.
I
And
know.
then that's it.
That's why I said it goes to the abs now, because that whole show is nothing but half-naked men.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm still waiting for the
Oh,
Danganronpa
wait.
Part 2.
Yeah, I know.
That's a good anime. I like that. That's a good game too.
It's a good game, but there's no
sequel to it.
There's no anime for Goodbye Despair.
The second one.
Yeah, which is the second game, which I want to see. They released a new game too. They released Despair Girls.
Yeah.
It's kind of stupid.
Well.
It didn't really follow the original too.
No.
It was just kind of like a shooter.
Hey. Like Despair Girls.
The first
honestly,
two games were like really cool. They were like Ace Attorney-ish.
Yeah. Yeah, like when he said, oh yeah, they made like Dream Girls or whatever. I just, for whatever reason, I know that the internet's going.
And it's all females too. There's no male characters. It's like.
Oh, okay. So then, like, do not let the internet get it, because that there's.
But there's like a whole fucking lore to that game that's not mentioned like in the games. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I think Despair Girls actually talks about it. There's like, the world ended, and then the kids from the first game leave school and then start like a organization to help make the world good again. It's called the Future Foundation. But then there's also the people who want to stop the Future Foundation, and they're like the bad guys. So like, while you're playing these games, there's a whole fucking thing going on outside that would also make a very interesting game.
Yeah.
But doesn't.
But it just focuses on the people inside the school.
We're trying to get out.
Yeah.
I was sad that my favorite character died.
Yeah.
Mondo.
Oh,
He was a biker.
Yeah.
High school little biker.
Was that's from the
He has a pompadour.
Yeah.
It's a corn cob pompadour. This doesn't exist in real life.
Yeah, no.
Only in anime.
I mean, my favorite character from that is Junko. I mean,
she's a fucking bitch.
She
killed her own sister.
I know that.
I
know that, but there's like, I just like the idea.
There's even a pre-story. There's what you know from the anime and what you can pick up on what they were like before. But there is literally like a story about what they were like before. Like, they were all friends. They because they got their minds wiped. And that's why they didn't know where they were and like who each other were. But like, Junko wiped their minds. They were all friends before that happened. And Junko's sister, who was killed and disguised as Junko, actually had a crush on the main character.
Oh, with the high school level luck
Naegi?
or
Yeah, Naegi was high school level luck. She liked him and felt bad about betraying him, and then she dies before she can even express her love for him.
That is sad.
And there's a whole fucking backstory to it, and it's dude, and there's even they show you in the anime and in the video game how they're hanging out together, and they're like, I don't get this fucking photo. How did that? What the hell? And they don't put it together that they were all friends before it happened. And they're killing their friends. That's the worst. That's the thing that really fucking makes it ooh shit. if they just didn't kill each other, they could have figured this all out, and they could have just like worked together. But because because Monokuma bribed them to kill each other, like.
Yeah, fuck it.
Real shitty. It's just real fucking shitty.
Yeah.
And the second game is also really depressing too, because like there are characters that are like they're not. None of the characters are related to the first group, but like it's the same feel. It's the same thing. Yeah. There's a Byakuya Togami guy, and he's fat.
Oh,
he's
he's supposed to be like.
He's the high school level heir in the first game. In the second game, he's the high school level imposter because he's not actually. He's not actually Byakuya Togami. He's had his mind wiped, and then he was like brought to think that he was Byakuya Togami.
I forget the one guy's name that I like. I forget what class he was.
Leon, who was the baseball player.
Yeah, the baseball player.
Mondo, the biker. Chihori, who was the video game programmer. No, she was the programmer, computer programmer. Then there was the high school level hall monitor.
I like the
oh yeah, that dude.
I think it was Despair.
That was Junko. Junko was Despair.
Well, I meant in the second game. There was a guy that I liked. He had like the messy blonde hair.
Which it kind of sticks out.
Yeah.
He was Hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
Hope. Okay.
High school level Hope.
What was it?
I get confused with the classes. I know.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much they all die in the second game. Like a lot of them get fucked up, and a lot of them are actually like working with the bad guy. Like they're just like secret sleeper agents.
Yeah, like I love how
dicks.
like my favorite dude in the first one.
Who was a fucking Yakuza member in the second game? Who was a super high school level Yakuza member?
Who was the favorite character in the first one?
The dude with like the really weird fucking like dreadlock.
Hagikure?
Oh, God.
Yeah, the
fortune
Super
teller.
Saiyan dude.
Super high school level fortune teller. He survives. He's one of the only people to live.
Yeah, that and Luck. Him and Luck are the only ones that like.
No, it's him. It's high school level. The fortune teller lives. Then it's the detective, Kirigiri, who lives. The pink-haired girl.
I like her too.
Then there's Naigi lives, and then there's the heir, Byakuya Togami lives, and then there's Fukawa, who was the literary and serial killer.
Oh, yeah.
And Aizahoni lives, who was the swimmer.
Yeah.
Those were the only people who survived.
Yeah, of all things, the swimmer lives.
Her best friend was Sakura. The fucking big hulking mom.
True.
Nobody fucks with her. She got her arm cut in one episode, and Sakura fucking went Super Saiyan.
Yeah. She's also my other favorite character in that.
Sakura.
Sakura.
She also has a backstory.
Yeah, she used to be very fucking hot.
Yeah, and her boyfriend Kinshiro, who was actually based off of the Fist of the North Star character, Kinshiro, is still alive.
Yeah. Somewhere.
Okay, it talks about it in Despair Girls. All of those kids who were in there had hostages, that were people that they kept, like kidnapped or whatever the fuck. So Sakura's boyfriend was kidnapped, Kenshiro. Naigi's sister is still alive. One of the pop idol girls, one of Mizuno's pop girls. Because she was that pop star, one of her background singers is still alive. One of Mondo's gang members is still alive. Like there's like people who are still alive, and every single kid had a hostage, and that's why Sakura was following his orders, was because Mondo had all those hostages that he was gonna kill if they didn't do what they said. But after Monokuma and Junko dies, they break out and they make another group. So like there's the future, whatever the fuck, the insurgency bad guys. Then there's these guys who are the hostages who are still alive and trying to rebuild the world. And then there's like a group of kids, they're just like young kids who like are also evil and want to kill people.
Fucking like weirdos.
They want to kill all the adults or whatever the fuck. It's like really fucking weird.
The children on the corn, basically.
Yeah, and like Monokuma's like their leader. There's like a gangster Monokuma who literally smokes a cigar and has like gold chains as like their buddy.
Okay, hold on. Can we quickly talk about like the fluffy half black half white bear just?
And then there's the half pink half white bunny.
Yeah.
Who was the hope one?
Can we just quickly talk about like Monokuma, who's mind you is this half white half black bear, this perfectly bifurcated by the way.
Oh, you're right.
Just where like the I imagine him just wearing like the Flavor Flav giant clock and like
he has a clock too. He doesn't have a Flavor Flav clock. He's got a bunch of stuff. He has a leather jacket or like a fuzzy purple jacket. He looks like a pimp. And he's working with kids.
Now we know
which makes me feel really fucking uncomfortable.
if Flavor Flav and was like a pimp.
Yeah.
Instead of being like a charred piece of bacon.
He was a pimp who had kids as his workers.
And
one of them is in a wheelchair.
Why?
It's just but they're evil and they want to kill people and they're really mean to each other. They're not nice kids.
No.
But you can't kill them because they're kids. But there's no problem with high school kids dying, I guess.
Yeah. The dude's an asshole. Just fucking kill him.
Yeah. But I like those games and I want to see more stuff from them. I don't know who makes them. I don't know what the company is.
I don't know the company either.
But they're good. They're good games. I never really liked Ace Attorney. I did like that.
Yeah, I never really got into it.
You're wrong.
Play it. Yeah.
Oh no, he says objection.
Yeah, objection.
In Danganronpa, they say you're wrong.
You're wrong.
He's like, you're wrong. He slams on the table, and the person's like,
no.
And they actually have facial expressions. They're like, no. And when they get caught, they actually get fucking either really angry or they just play it cool. That's why I respected Mondo so much because when he was caught, he was like, I did it because he felt bad. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, that's in the anime. That's in the games, but not in the anime. If you play the game, you can you look more into each character. The anime doesn't really show you much thought behind the characters. You didn't know that Leon wanted to be a punk rock star and he didn't want to play baseball anymore in the anime. But in the show or in the game, because in the game, when you're not doing shit, you can hang out with people. And after you hang out with them, there's a sequence where you talk.
Yeah, where the anime they basically just focus on them trying.
Nagi. They pretty much just focus on Nagi and his life. But Mondo had a Maltese puppy and that he really loved, and his name was Chuck. And there's a bunch of shit that you just find out about each character. And it's just I wish they kind of with the show, there'd be too long if they added everybody's backstory and thoughts and opinions.
Anytime with anime, they usually shorten. And this comes to with video games and manga.
I feel bad for Leon too. Mondo and Leon are the two people who were punished that I felt bad for because Mondo did it out of anger and he didn't really mean to.
Yeah.
He hit the girl, whatever, with a barbell and was like, oh, I feel bad now because I killed her. And then to protect the secret that she was a boy, he put her in the girls' locker room to try to cover the whole thing up.
Yeah.
And then was caught and was
I think that's Chris's favorite character.
Mondo?
The boy girl?
The boy girl.
Oh, Chihiro. Her name was Chihiro Hogasaka or whatever, and that was the programmer. Yeah. But yeah, he was just I did it, and I feel bad about it. And and then the hall monitor guy was crying and was don't do it, don't go, because they were buddies.
Yeah.
And it sucked. But then Leon, I feel bad for because Mizuno tried to kill him, and he killed her in self-defense. And then he was put to death because he did kill somebody.
Yeah, and
and Mizuno was an asshole. They don't tell you about it in the anime, but Mizuno was a fucking dick. Mizuno made friends with Nagi, and then purposely switched rooms with him so that he would be blamed.
Yeah.
And then tried to kill, Leon in Nagi's room so that he would be fucked over. But tables turned. She got fucked. The thing I don't understand about that though is she wrote out a letter to come meet me in Nagi's room, and then she was gonna kill the person she wrote the letter to, which was Leon. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck did she pick a professional athlete to murder?
Yeah.
As the first person to kill? That was what she chose. The professional athlete, the baseball player.
You don't.
She usually could have picked Shihori, who was small and weak and frail, and obviously would have been killed off.
Yeah. Well.
No. I'm gonna write this letter to the professional baseball player, who is 10 times stronger than me, 10 times my size.
Let's
probably gonna get killed. Maybe a little bit of murder. Fucking let's do it.
Yeah. It's no, too easy. No, fun enough.
I want to kill him, but I do want a little challenge.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be too easy now.
By little challenge, you mean big.
I can see why she wouldn't pick Mondo or Sakura.
Yeah.
Those two,
Sakura.
I wouldn't touch.
Fuck no. Nobody
fucking tries to kill Sakura. Sakura kills her.
She's fucking huge as shit.
Well, she kills herself.
Yeah, because I swear to God, it's like you could have her go up against like the Thing or Colossus, and like have her like come out like
super high school level martial artist, dude. That's what happens when you fucking eat protein every day. You notice every single time she's drinking or eating something is protein oriented.
Yeah, like a lot of beef, a lot of like.
Well, like because like her main character trait is like protein coffee. That's like what she always asks for. It's like her fucking thing. Well, meanwhile, the swimmer eats donuts like it's nobody's fucking business.
It all goes to her boobs too.
It all goes to her boobs and her butt.
Yep.
Azani has like the slimmest figure.
Her hair is like.
Well, yeah. Well, she like ties it up. I don't fucking know.
How does it stay up like that?
That's the weirdest fucking.
But there's a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference in Danganronpa.
Really?
Yeah, Mondo Iwata's gang is called the Crazy Diamonds, and Mondo has a pompadour, and Josuke's in part 4 his stand is called the Crazy Diamond, and he has a pompadour. So people believe that it's a reference to.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Anyway. This has been going on for a while, so I think we're going to end. It's been an hour and 30 minutes. It's a successful successful second podcast. Woo!
And there'll be a lot more in the future.
Yeah, we're planning on meeting up at least once a week to make one and then put out. This is being recorded on Friday, so this will probably be uploaded on Tuesday because or maybe Wednesday. I want one day a week to be like the comic day, the Nerdtasia day, you know, because. You know, it takes a lot of time to make and edit and render these things.
Yeah.
So we want to make them as good as possible.
Yeah.
But we also don't. I also run a channel, and I'm going to be doing the rendering and editing. So I upload daily on my channel. So it'll be difficult for me to do, to run 2 things daily. Not to mention an hour-long thing.
Yeah, an hour and a half long thing about like.
Most podcasts are weekly things, so this will be weekly. And if you enjoy it, then please let us know in the comments below. And I'm JoJo. Yep. That's Nigel. That's Devin. And this is Comic Nerdtasia. Nerdtasia's back.
Yep.
Back in black.
Yeah, and.
Woo!
Yeah, Sue's back.
Black again.
Yeah, so I'm probably when I go home, I'm probably gonna work on home brewing some like decks.
Crack.
No, I'm not Walter White.
No, he ain't meth.
At least you're getting my reference.
There's a fucking difference between meth and crack. Get it right? All right, Nigel?
I'm pretty sure we tried to end this conversation.
No. But that's all that's anyway for today. Next, we'll be doing more shit too. We'll be doing the podcast, but we're also planning on doing D&D stuff together.
Yeah.
There will actually be video with that one. The reason we don't do video with this is because it's easier to just sit around and have a fireside chat with you guys after our style.
Then to like focus on the camera.
Yeah, then focus on the camera.
And
honestly, we do have a camera, but we don't.
Fuck it.
Takes batteries, takes time to plug it in and upload that shit. So
and
that'd be if we. I'd be willing to do
what
rendering stuff for a D&D campaign, but for me to add an extra layer of editing on us just sitting around and talking, I feel like that'd be a little too much poop. Yeah. Anyway, I'm starving. It's 9:00 and it's 9:00 on a Friday. Regular crowd shuffles in.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all we have for today. And
I just got that.
Next time will be Lily Joel back.
Go sit in the fucking corner, dude.
Don't you? If you don't like it, get the fuck out of my house!
This is my house. I love you, baby. Subscribe, like, comment, and if you don't like my videos, then please leave. I will. Simulation attended. Comic Nerdtasia is out, baby. Give me some of that good old dick, you know what I'm saying? Give me some of them too. I want to suck on some good old. And when you want quality, you come to Comic Nerdtasia. I'm JoJo, he's Nigel, it's Devin, and we're out. Peace.